One of the reasons Sonic Robo Blast 2 feels so natural to play and so rewarding to master are the characters. Sonic Team Junior has really picked and chose some of the best characters from the classic era of Sonic to update for a 3D gameplay style, and it really is one of the reasons the game is so fun to play. So today, I'll be ranking the vanilla characters from worst to best based off their sprites, moveset, accessibility, most importantly, fun factor. Enjoy. Knuckles the Echidna. While none of the characters in Sonic Robo Blast 2 necessarily feel sluggish or lacking compared to others, Knuckles definitely feels more lethargic than the rest. He has a pretty average speed, and without an ability like Metal Sonic's boost mode or Fang's tail bounce, he has no way to stand up in a speedrunning environment. This middling speed stat combined with a smaller jump means he is often forced to take slower side routes and feature precise platforming that, with bad camera angles, can often take multiple attempts. His glide and climb also aren't as useful as, say, Tails' fly due to the reduced flexibility and long end lag of the animation. This all combines together to create a character that feels like they don't cater to either casuals or speedrunners due to a moveset lacking in flow. Fang the Sniper. These next two characters both feel like they were designed for speedrunners before casuals due to their high skill ceiling, which, while not necessarily bad, does make them more off-putting for a more casual player. Fang's main appeal is likely his obscurity, giving him a certain appeal that someone like Sonic or Tails doesn't. This rare opportunity to play with some character long forgotten by Sega themselves. Outside of that, his moveset is fairly balanced, having both a traversal and offensive capability that most other characters lack. While his popgun absolutely destroys bosses, his tail bounce has a much more mixed appeal. While great in a zone like Green Flower Mountain, where it has the room necessarily to really reach its true potential and completely destroy the game's momentum barrier, it feels like more of a hindrance in a zone like Egg Rock, where the precise platforming lacks the room required to really get going. He also has the inherent weakness of being a character without a damaging jump, often leaving him exposed whenever he doesn't get the opportunity to use a popgun. Definitely a character that speedrunners can really use to get in ridiculous times, but also one whose high skill ceiling can be difficult for newcomers and casuals. Amy Rose. Another character with a high skill ceiling, Amy Rose is only really higher than Fang because I've used her a lot more often. Compared to a lot of the characters in Sonic Robo Blast 2, Amy has a very vertically oriented moveset with the highest jump and multitude of Pico Pico hammer related abilities. The hammer is very useful for traversal techniques due to its ability to hit springs to increase their power, allowing her to skip large portions of levels. However, it leaves a lot to be desired in combat. Amy has no spin dash, and requires an ability called Twin Spin to be used to have a damaging jump. This makes her one of, if not the, most vulnerable character in the game. Of course, good players will simply be able to avoid enemies and avoid dangerous areas, during which Amy's versatile abilities will come into their own and allow the player to keep up a great sense of flow and speed, making her a great choice for advanced players, even as she can be overwhelming for newer ones. Sonic the Hedgehog. Probably the most popular character in the roster for both new and old players, Sonic's speed is easily his best feature. The fastest character, ignoring Metal Sonic's boost mode, Sonic is probably the hardest character out of the first three to play as. His speed though may seem useful for platforming, but his raw power makes him more likely to simply launch you off the other side of the platform. He also gets a spin dash, but he probably has the most basic out of the roster's movesets. However, it can't be ignored that he probably has the best flow out of every character, as his simple abilities really mess well with his natural speed. His stock also makes him good against bosses, as he can close the gap between them extremely quickly. Overall, Sonic may not be the easiest character to control, and he may not have a fancy moveset, but his worth as a character for every type of player cannot be denied. Miles Tails Prower. This adorable little fox has an adorable little secret. His ability breaks the game in half. Tails' fly allows him to bypass massive chunks of basically every level and ignore basic cliches like falling to his death, drowning, and generally being bad. There are very few scenarios where Tails can't simply fly away. This is probably his greatest strength. There's little a game can do to kill you if you just run away from any form of danger. The one time he can't escape danger is in a boss battle, and this is probably his biggest weakness. His moveset is so obviously built for traversing areas that he really has no combat abilities, lacking anything beyond his basic jump. This makes boss battles much harder than they otherwise would be because his fly is too slow to consistently avoid attacks. However, this is only a problem in a third of the levels, and even then, most of those boss battles can simply be done by damage boosting, causing him to be the best character for new players. An honourable mention to Sonic and Tails together. It would be cheating for me to consider this team up to be a character, but their worth can't be denied. Essentially, imagine a character that combines Sonic's incredible speed with Tails' generous traversal ability. but even if I were to rank them, I still believe they would only be second place to Metal Sonic. Not only does this character have by far the best design and sprites in the game, he also has a damn good moveset. Metal's place on this list comes because he combines the strength of many of the other characters in the roster. He can often surpass Sonic speed with boost mode, his Hither is essentially a better version of Knuckles' glide, plus it allows Metal to take many of the same shortcuts as Tails. He also gets his own route through many levels, and if done properly, can often allow him to beat levels faster and more easily than many others. He also doesn't have an obvious flaw like every other character in the roster, and his width is evident in every level. Even if his hover can't be used in a level, his boost mode allows him to take the standard path much quicker than everyone else. These factors combine to create a character who I believe is the best in Sonic Robo Blast 2. Thank you to everyone who sat through this entire video. This is the first time I've actually been able to get a non-gameplay video out on this channel. That wasn't a video saying I was going to create non-gameplay videos, and I've enjoyed the process of making this video. I think I'm going to create a ranking of the SRB2 zones next, so watch this space if you'd like to see that. See you next time.